What's up, guys? I got a video that I know you're all going to love today. It is a 3 full rounds NFL mock draft. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more great content from this channel. Later on in the next couple of days, I have a community mock draft where I didn't make any of the picks. All the picks were made from fans of that team. So be sure to check that video out coming in the next couple of days. Subscribe so you don't miss it. If you do want to be involved in a community video at some point, I will leave links in the description box below for some of the Facebook groups I'm on. One is the NFL's Greatest Debates Room, is where I find people for one of them, and one is from another YouTuber who created the channel or created the group. I'll leave a link to his channel and his Facebook group in the description box below, as well as my Twitter handle and how to follow me on Twitter. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And the way I've got this worked out, so the video don't take 2 to 3 hours to do, the way I've got this worked out is I'm just going to start number 1 overall with the Cleveland Browns and make that pick. And then I'll just tell you all the Cleveland Browns picks. Then I'll go on to number 2, San Francisco, and tell you all of their picks through 3 rounds. And the draft order is a little bit outdated because this took some time to do. This took me a good 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half to do. So just realize that. So let's go ahead and jump on to the Cleveland Browns, number 1 overall. I'll throw it up here. I've got the Cleveland Browns taking Josh Rosen with the first overall pick, quarterback out of UCLA. And I'm not going to go into too much detail with these picks for time purposes. Also, I do have scouting reports on the channel. You can check those out. Or if you wait to the end of this video, I'll have them linked to the end of this video. So at number 10 overall, they're picked from the Houston Texans. I have them taking James Washington, get a quarterback first, then get him a weapon to throw to. At 33 overall in the second round, I have them taking Mitch Hyatt, tackle out of Clemson. Joe Thomas is getting a little older now. Find somebody who can replace him if he even comes back at all. 64 overall, I have them taking Joshua Jackson, cornerback out of Iowa. And there's a good chance that this guy rises up. I'm hearing some really good buzz about him, but for right now, at the time of doing this video, I haven't scouted him myself yet. I just know what people have said about him. There's a good chance he could move up. At number 65 overall, I have them taking Deion Kane, wide receiver out of Clemson. And that may surprise a lot of people, but I'm not, I'm not as high on Deion Kane as a lot of other people are. You can watch my scouting report on wide receivers to find out why. There is potential there, but he does have a lot of flaws in his game that are going to need to be addressed at some point. Moving on to number 2 overall, the San Francisco 49ers select Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. Big surprise there. At 61 overall, this is their pick they got from the New England Patriots through their trade with Jimmy Garoppolo. They select Sammy Cobbs Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. At 66 overall, the San Francisco 49ers select J.C. Jackson, cornerback out of Maryland. At 73 overall, the 49ers select Desmond Harrison, offensive tackle, West Georgia. At number 3 overall, the New York Giants select Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. At 35 overall, the Giants select Nick Chubb, running back out of Georgia. And at 67 overall, the Giants select Kevin Tolliver, cornerback out of LSU. At the beginning of this season, guys, I did some scouting on about 10 to 15, maybe 20 players, somewhere in that neighborhood of the number. I've scouted some of those guys before the season even started just to kind of get a good feel and idea of what to look at and who's around and strength of the class and that sort of thing. Kevin Tolliver was one of the guys I scouted, and he was my favorite cornerback at one time. He's got great size. He plays the ball pretty good. He sticks with his receiver pretty good, but there is some things he struggles with, and he's going to slip in this draft to the 3rd round where the New York Giants pick him up, which is a good value pick for there. Moving on to the Broncos, I have them taking Lamar Jackson at number 4 overall, quarterback out of Louisville. At 36 overall, Vita V, defensive tackle, Washington. At 68 overall, Bradley Bozeman, center, Alabama. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Colts taking at number 5 overall, Bradley Chubb, edge rusher, North Carolina State. At 37 overall, Billy Price, center, guard, Ohio State. At 69 overall, Roquan Smith, inside linebacker, Georgia. And this is another one that may surprise you guys. I'm lower on this guy than a lot of other people are, mainly because of his size, and he could move up. The needle could point up for him. I want to see his combine numbers and see if he could be used as a hybrid safety type of player. And if he can, he should rise in my drafts. But because of his size and because of how easy he is to block whenever people do try to block him, whenever his defensive line ain't getting in their way, he's basically taken out of plays. But you can see the full scouting report on my scouting report video. That will be linked at the end of this video. Moving on to the Chicago Bears, I have them taking at number 6 overall Calvin Ridley, wide receiver out of Alabama, and they only have 2 picks in this draft. At 38 overall, I have them taking Isaiah Wynn, tackle guard center out of Georgia. The guy is athletic enough to play any position along the offensive line that you want him to play. He best fits as a guard, but he's athletic enough to pull the other two off in a pinch. So you get Mitch Trubisky, a wide receiver to throw to. Then you get somebody to help protect him. I feel like that's a good day for the Bears. They've already got a solid defense. Help your quarterback out. At number 7 overall, I have the New York Jets taking Mason Rudolph, quarterback out of Oklahoma State. I feel like that's a little early for him to go, but the Jets need a quarterback. At number 39 overall, the second round, I have the Jets selecting Ken Webster, cornerback out of Ole Miss. And at 74 overall, I have them taking Damon Harris, running back out of Alabama, big bruiser. At number 8 overall, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Minkah Fitzpatrick, safety cornerback out of Alabama. At 40 overall, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Bryce Love, running back, Stanford. And at 75 overall, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Deshaun Elliott, safety, Texas A&M. Moving on to number 9, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Darwin James, safety, Florida State. At 41 overall, another guy that I'm a little lower on than some, I have them taking Maurice Hurst at 41 overall, defensive tackle out of Michigan. At 76 overall, I have them taking Dante Jackson, cornerback, LSU, who is another guy who could rise in the draft once combine time comes around. He's a little on the small side, but he's very athletic, so we'll just have to see what kind of numbers he puts up and how he finishes the rest of this season. Moving on to number 11 overall. Remember, the Browns had 10 overall. Moving on to number 11 overall is the LA Chargers. I have them taking Quentin Nelson, guard, Notre Dame, at number 11. At 42, I have them taking Justin Reed, safety, out of Stanford. And at 77, Taven Bryan, defensive tackle, out of Florida. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at number 12 overall, taking Connor Williams, tackle, out of University of Texas. At 43 overall, Josh Sweet, linebacker slash edge rusher from Florida State. And at 78 overall, Lorenzo Carter, edge rusher, Georgia, another guy that I'm very high on, higher than others, and there's a good chance that he's going to start moving up in my draft soon. He's got that nice, long body type that people love or teams love in a edge rusher. He's really got really long arms, and he's very good at getting off his blocks. So I haven't done a complete scouting report on him, but that is coming. Probably I'll do edge rushers next. I'm working on offensive tackles right now. Edge rushers will probably be next. But for now, that's a solid pick in the 3rd round for the Bengals, and we'll do more mock drafts like this in the future. Probably the next one probably won't come to the off season though. But moving on to number 13 overall, I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting Mike McGlinchey, tackle out of Notre Dame. At 44 overall, Carlton Davis, cornerback, Auburn. And at 79 overall, Luke Falk, quarterback, Washington State. The next one, guys, is one that I'm most proud of. It worked out. It's for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboys fan. It's just kind of how the draft fell this time around. So I really like how this shows up. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, comment. Let me know what you think, or any team. I want to hear all of you guys' feedback and what you think on the draft. But I think the Cowboys won this draft just because of how things played out and how it fell. But anyways, here it is. At 14 overall, Ronnie Harrison, safety, Alabama. He's good in coverage, and he's good against the run. He's got good size. He plays very physical. It'll really help that young secondary out, and they can grow and gel together and be very dangerous. At 45 overall, Equanimus St. Brown, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. He's 6'5". He's fast. He attacks the football. He is a little bit raw, but he can definitely develop, and I think he might even be better than Dez Bryant right out the gate. He won't jump up and fight for the football like Dez Bryant, but he's got better size, and I think he's faster as well. And he's another weapon and playmaker for Dak Prescott to throw to. Big target there. At number 80 overall, I have the Cowboys taking Troy. I don't know if I can say this last name. Fumagalli, tight end out of Wisconsin, who was putting up very good numbers. Athletic tight end, but he ended up getting hurt, cutting his season short. But that's okay. You come in, knock the rust off, learn from Jason Witten. So Cowboys fans, I'm pretty proud of how that draft played out and who you was able to get where you was drafting at. So comment, let me know what you think. At number 15 overall, moving on to the Redskins, I have them taking Josh Allen, quarterback out of Wyoming, very athletic. From what I hear, he's got a very high football IQ. He's just a little bit raw, so he could develop into a solid quarterback for them that they can depend on, because Kirk Cousins, I guess you can't, because he won't sign a contract unless he's basically robbing you. At 46 overall, Sam Hubbard, outside linebacker slash edge rusher, Ohio State. And at 81 overall, Anthony Miller, wide receiver, Memphis. I was a little bit hesitant to give you Anthony Miller because while he is a good receiver, while he is very explosive, he's kind of got the same play style as I can't think of his name. You guys, his wide receiver, number 80, the small, shifty dude, pretty quick. Can't think of his name. He's on my fantasy team, and I hate when that happens, guys. I try to think of somebody's name, and I forget, but you guys should know who I'm talking about. If you're a Redskins fan, number 80. If you're not a Redskins fan, you should probably know him. I can see him play. I can see his jersey, and I can see him playing in that New York Giants game on Thanksgiving. I just can't think of his name. But anyways, moving on to the Packers here. At number 16 overall, I have them taking Rashaan Evans, inside linebacker, Alabama. At 47 overall, I have them taking Austin Bryant, edge rusher, Clemson. And at 82 overall, Caleb Wilson, tight end, UCLA. Again, a very good tight end. He's one of Josh Rosen's favorite targets there at UCLA. Going from Josh Rosen to Aaron Rodgers is not a bad thing. He's actually pretty good. Moving on to number 17 overall, we have the Oakland Raiders selecting Daron Payne, defensive tackle, out of Alabama. At 48 overall, the Oakland Raiders select Jari Alexander, cornerback, LSU. And at 83 overall, the Raiders select Sonny Michel, running back out of Georgia. Moving on to number 18 overall, we have the Baltimore Ravens selecting Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, SMU. At 49 overall, Braden Smith, guard, Auburn. At 48 overall, I hope I can say this name correctly. It's going to be a hard one. Agbani Akaranwu, outside linebacker, Oklahoma University. At number 19 overall, we have the Buffalo Bills selecting Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of the University of Oklahoma. At 21 overall, which is their pick from the Kansas City Chiefs, and I hope I say this name correctly. It's going to be another hard one, not just the first name, but the last name too. Chikawami Okafor, offensive tackle, Western Michigan. At 50 overall, I have them taking Hayden Hurst, tight end, South Carolina. At 55 overall, Christian Kirk, another wide receiver that I'm not as high on as other people. Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Texas A&M. At 96 overall, which is the final pick in this mock draft, 96 overall, I have them taking Matthew Thomas, inside linebacker, Florida State. Moving on, at number 20 overall is the Detroit Lions, and I have them selecting Darius Guice, running back out of LSU. At 51 overall, Mesa Tehama, guard out of Southern Louisiana, which he did play at LSU. And I'm not exactly sure what happened there. He was dismissed, but I've seen interviews with the coaches. They still speak highly of him. He's got the athleticism to play left guard, but he's also got the power to play right guard. And he can even play tackle in a pinch for you on either side. So he can play on either guard or either tackle for you in a pinch. Just depends on where you want to put him. So that's a good solid pick. good versatile pick for the Lions. Give someone that can help protect Matt Stafford in there, and then help block for your first round pick, Darius Squeeze. And with the final pick in your third round, I have you taking Terrell Edmonds, safety, Virginia Tech. Don't know too much about him. He's got very good size. Glover Quinn is getting older now, so get you a replacement there and let him learn from him for a little while. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 22 overall. There isn't a quarterback worth taking at this point, I believe, anymore. So I've been taking Kellen, or I don't know how to say his name, Farrell, defensive end, Clemson. And by the way, Jaguars can get them a quarterback out of free agency. So could a lot of other teams. So these quarterbacks could fall to this point. At number 52 overall, Mike Gesicki, tight end out of Penn State. And at number 86 overall, Jordan Whitehead, safety out of Pitt. At number 23 overall, this is my team, the Tennessee Titans. I have them selecting Malik Jefferson, inside linebacker, University of Texas. At 53 overall, a guy that I'm higher on than a lot of other people, Trenton Thompson. If he can stay healthy, I believe that he could be the type of player like Ndamukong Suh or Gerald McCoy or Geno Atkins. I think he could be that type of player, a defensive lineman out of Georgia. At 87 overall, I have the Tennessee Titans selecting Riley Ferguson, quarterback out of Memphis. At 24 overall, I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Will Hernandez, and this is their only pick in this draft. Very, very powerful offensive guard. He's not got the exact measurables you want, but very powerful man, and offensive line help is what they're in bad need of there in Seattle. At 25 overall, the Atlanta Falcons select Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle out of Clemson. At 54 overall, I apologize for that for any of you Falcons fans. The Atlanta Falcons select Dante Pettis, wide receiver out of Washington. And at 89 overall, the Atlanta Falcons select Zach Allen, edge rusher out of Boston College, who's a very good edge rusher. It's just Harold Landry kind of outshines him, so he falls to the third round to the Atlanta Falcons. At number 26 overall, we have the LA Rams, who only have 2 picks in this draft for this first 3 rounds, taking Tafaris McFadden, quarterback out of Florida State. And at number 90 overall, selecting Duke Ejiofor, edge rusher out of Wake Forest. At number 27 overall, we have the Carolina Panthers selecting Martinez Rankings, tackle out of Mississippi State, followed by Arden Tate, wide receiver out of Florida State. At number 85 overall, I have them selecting Marcel Frazier, defensive end out of Missouri. And at number 91 overall, I have them taking Anthony Avert, cornerback out of Alabama. At 28 overall, we have the New Orleans Saints taking Harold Landry, edge rusher out of Boston College. And at number 92 overall, which is their final pick in this mock draft, I have them selecting Kendall Joseph, inside/outside linebacker out of Clemson, who I really like. You can check out my scouting report on the channel. We're almost at the end of this video, so it will be coming up. And at number 29 overall, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Cameron Smith, inside linebacker out of USC, followed by, at 57 overall, Dontavius Russell, defensive tackle out of Auburn. And at number 93 overall, Jarrett Stidham, quarterback, Auburn. At number 30 overall, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State, followed by Jamarco Jones, tackle/guard out of Ohio State. He plays tackle, but a lot believe that because of his body size, he should move to guard for the NFL. And if you notice, I picked 2 Auburn players back-to-back, the previous pick, and 2 Ohio State players back-to-back this pick. That was not done on purpose. That was a coincidence. The way I did this was I created a list and went down from 1 all the way to 96. And in order to save time for the video, like, for example, I found the Browns at 1, and I found them at 10 and moved that up, and 33 and moved that up, and then 49ers, go down 61, move that pick up, 66, move that, and so on and so on. So that's just a coincidence there. Don't think too much about it. And finally, at number 94, for the Vikings, I have them selecting Oren Burks, inside linebacker, Vanderbilt. At number 31 overall, we're almost there. The New England Patriots select Dorrance Armstrong Jr., edge rusher out of Kansas. At 34 overall, the New England Patriots select Arden Key, edge rusher out of LSU. This was their pick from the Jimmy Garoppolo trade. The Patriots are in bad need of an edge rusher, so I get them two good ones right off the bat, back to back. At 63 overall, the New England Patriots select Clayton Thorson, quarterback, Northwestern. And at 95 overall, the New England Patriots select Derek Knighty, defensive tackle, Florida State. The Eagles select with 32 overall Orlando Brown, tackle out of the University of Oklahoma. Jason Peters is getting older now. Maybe it's time to start thinking about a replacement to groom behind him. You always want to have somebody there and dependable for Carson Wentz, who is a young player. Now for the Texans, who didn't have a first-round pick thanks to their trade with the Cleveland Browns. I have them taking at 71 overall, Mark Andrews, tight end, University of Oklahoma. And at number 88 overall, Mason Cole, center/guard out of Michigan. Next, we have the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Adonis Alexander at 58 overall, cornerback, Virginia Tech. And at 70 overall, Andre Dillard, tackle, Washington State. So, anyways, guys, that's my mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like if you like the content. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet to see more great content. The community mock draft coming out in the next couple of days, and also more scouting reports. If there's anything NFL related that you would like me to talk about, drop it in the comment section below. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and that's all. I guess I'll see you next time.